What's up everyone, Alex here. This is going to be a bit like a farewell video for the Odin, as the AYN Odin 2 has been announced, and we're going to talk about this and have a bit more of a look at it. They released a video recently which is going to be their Indiegogo campaign, which they haven't got a date yet, but as you can see here, they've designed the Odin a little bit differently. There's influences of the Loki inside here. The chip has been confirmed to be better than a Snapdragon 888, so there's going to be some power in this Android device. We have super fast charging and new system buttons, new face buttons, and it just looks pretty damn sleek. And it looks like there might be a new dock coming as well, but it does look really good, but they're not giving us much information, so there is no confirmation on that chip. But better than an 888 Snapdragon means this is going to run really well. I mean, up to PlayStation 2 and pretty much all the PS2 library. And is there a market for this? I would say yes. I'm actually looking forward to it. So there isn't a date for the Indiegogo yet, but I would assume they might go for somewhere around August 20th, because that's when the last Indiegogo for the AYN Odin was, which was that really 2 years ago now? It's been a really long time. I've had my Odin Pro for about a year and a half now, I guess. I think I'm losing my mind or something, but it's been really interesting coming back to this device after playing with so many different ones, and it's really refreshing to come back to it and realize how slim and light it is. It's such a well-designed device, and it can play a decent amount of games. I mean, coming back to it now, it's been a while since I've had to tinker with different emulators. I mean, I did so many videos with Dolphin MMJR and so on. This is currently Metroid Prime in Dolphin MMJR, and some of these games don't run absolutely perfectly. You can see there's a couple of hiccups or not perfectly smooth 60 frames. When we move to the Odin 2, I don't think we'll even need stuff like Dolphin MMJR. I think you can just use the official build of Dolphin, which has made a lot of leaps and strides since, a year and a half ago, and hopefully there won't even need to be much tweaking. I hope you can just up the res up to 1080p and play the games absolutely smooth. This is Super Mario 3D Land on Citra MMJ. Again, we might not even need MMJ for the Odin 2. You might be able to use the regular Citra build. But surprisingly, look, it runs really well on the Odin Pro. So a lot of people who have Odins, I think a lot of people are content with it. One of the great things about it is it's slim, it's portable, it has a really good battery life. The battery life's a really important one because it's on an ARM system, and you're playing your Android games for a really long time. I mean, I'm currently using the Ioneo Geek 1S and I love it. I don't have a problem with the battery life on that thing. Depending on what I'm playing, I can play a standard game 12 to 15 watts for 2 to 3 hours. If I need something with more juice, that time is going to go down, but the device is kind of heavy and it charges pretty fast, so I'm happy to take a break and let that thing charge. But when you want something truly portable, I think having a good battery life and having a lightweight design is a really good thing. And that's where I see the Loki, no, sorry, not the Loki. I don't even have a Loki. That's where I see the Odin 2, which dropped the Odin logo, strangely enough. I've not seen the sort of face. I can't even show you in the video because I removed mine and put a PlayStation logo instead. So there's not even a logo, but yeah, the Odin is lightweight, great battery. Here you can see Donkey Kong Country Returns is playing on Dolphin MMJR. The first level runs decently. I do have some footage of the second level, which doesn't run as good as the first level. I did try underclocking a little bit more, but it didn't seem to help very much. And this is the case where, I mean, I did these videos for tweaking and getting emulators running better for a reason. I wanted to show the power of this device and how well it can run certain games, and I knew it couldn't run everything, but I was trying to make a case that it's a really worthwhile device. But I can, after doing this channel for so long, I can totally see why people just do not want to bother with this stuff and how things change and update. I'll be honest, I've not used my Odin Pro for a really long time now, and I had some problems with like buttons and emulators, and I just did not want to tweak things again, you know. I kind of just wanted to open and play it, and that was pretty much the case. In this case, Aether SX2, and what a journey Aether SX2 was. I mean, look, we have Resident Evil 4 running 100% really well. I think this is at 3 times resolution, and at the start, you know, PS2 wasn't even a consideration for the AYN Odin Pro. Not at all. The emulator didn't even exist. And cut to nearly 2 years later, and we have Resident Evil 4 running perfectly on a PS2 emulator for Android. So it's kind of crazy how things are going. And just in case you're unaware, the development of Aether SX2 has ceased. But it currently is an amazing emulator and will play things so well. But if you were looking to get into the Odin 2 hoping that PS2 emulation will continue to improve, it won't unless it goes open source or a new emulator comes. But I don't think that's really going to be a problem. I mean, right here you can see Shadow of the Colossus is running fantastically on just the Odin Pro. I can't remember the settings I've used here, and that's another thing. I did so many videos on PlayStation 2 emulation, and I didn't do like a final wrap-up of like the last version of Aether SX2 and what settings you might need. So it's more, Aether SX2 is now more of an out-of-the-box emulator. It runs a lot better than it used to. So I see the Odin 2 being able to play PS2 games really well straight away at 2x, 3x resolution. The big test, and it'll be coming up, is to see if the Odin 2 can run something like Metal Gear Solid 2 as amazing as you'd like it to be. But there is another factor to this, and that there are people who are going to be wanting to get the Odin 2, and they're going to want a dual boot, and maybe run something like Windows as well. There are a lot of people with Odin Pros were really interested in that, and it took a long time to roll out that update. And we're going to very soon have PC ports of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, so it might not even matter being able to emulate Metal Gear Solid anymore if you have really good PC ports of them. But I wanted to show Metal Gear Solid 2 here. On the Odin Pro, there's like, when you're playing from the start, there's a lot of it you can play very well, but then you'll immediately come up to a couple of sections like the battle with Olga and the under area with the hundreds of soldiers. That area runs really low. I'm going to show that too. I didn't want to make this video too long, so I cut a lot of footage, and I wanted to show Metal Gear Solid 3 as well. But this video I kind of wanted to be / tribute to the Odin, and what do we want out of the Odin 2? Where is that going? The price of it, by the way, if it's going to have a CPU stronger than a Snapdragon 888, if we're looking at Gen 1 or Gen 2, I think the Odin 2, it's a difficult one, because if it's priced around what the price of the Steam Deck is, there's going to be a lot of people saying, why should I get that? Why should I get a Odin 2 when I can get a Steam Deck which has more power, it can play more games, it can play my entire Steam library? And that's going to be a difficult one for sure. And I'm wondering if maybe they are aiming that device towards people who have more money and just want to upgrade and get a better device. I mean, why not? You know, it's what a lot of people are like. And in my case, this is Zone of the Enders 2, and you can see when I start striking this boss, the performance slows down, and there's nothing I can do about this. There were certain settings I thought maybe you could tweak to maybe like bypass an effect that slowed the game down, but no, if I was adamant about playing certain PlayStation 2 games on the go on a device like this, yes, I would want more power, but I would not want to buy something like a Red Magic phone, because I don't like the idea of mixing a handheld with a phone. I like them separate. I like my phone to be my phone. I like my gaming to be on a handheld device or something else. So, price-wise, how do you even direct this at people and say it's the same price as a Steam Deck? Let's say that's the case. Same price as a Steam Deck, should you get one. I think there's an argument for it, definitely, because like I said, lightweight, if it's lightweight and it has a really good battery, let's say you could play your favorite PlayStation 2 games and you'll get 4 to 6 hours battery life easy, compared to maybe half that on a Steam Deck or less. I'm not really sure, and we don't know, so we'll find out when they actually announce the specs to us, because it could be a larger battery than the Odin for all we know. If they are looking to maybe reach a higher end market and glam it up a bit with better specs, I think that could be a good thing, because we can't forget at the same time they're going to be selling the Odin, all the Odin model, the Odin Pro, the Odin itself, and the Odin Lite. And then we still don't know in their Odin 2 campaign if it is just going to be the Odin 2 or if they're going to have different models. The way they're saying that, so the news that the Snapdragon is going to be better than a 888 came from Discord. Someone who works for AYN confirmed that, so that is real. But I just wanted to show this footage. I forgot to mention the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, because the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus is a lot cheaper than the Odin and is surprisingly capable of what it can do. And so it absolutely doesn't run Metal Gear Solid great. Like the area just before this had a lot of slowdown, but I wanted to show that for a device which is like $50 to $100 less than the Odin Pro, you can play a lot of PS2 games on it still. And then here is the Geek 1S, which I've been using a lot lately. I really like this thing. This is Metal Gear Solid 4 running at 60 frames per second, and I'm playing a bit like an idiot because I forgot that I changed my controller profile for another game. So, but this is just a case of saying, like, look, here's a high-end gaming PC device, and if you're gonna shell out money for a device anyway, I think you start after asking yourself questions like, what games do I want to play? What do I want to have access to? So if, say, the Odin 2 is somewhere between $300 and $400, why not spend more for a PC handheld? But, all just speculation. This is the Odin Pro. They're going to keep selling it, but it's light. It can handle a lot. I've had a really good history of this thing. I'm probably not going to use it much very more, but I've loved this thing, and I'm looking forward to see what the Odin 2 is all about. So thank you very much for watching. Please give us a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.